Hello everyone, my name is Annie from Tea with Annie, and very much thanks to Sue for sending me a message about this beautiful festival of hers. Tonight I'm going to teach you the art of tea leaf reading. So I've been practicing tea since I was a very little girl. It's a beautiful methodology that's been passed down to me through my Irish maternal bloodline, and thanks to my grandmother and my great-great-great-great-grandmother, it keeps going back, I have a really fun skill that I think that everybody can do. So firstly, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. Then we're going to have a try ourselves. So maybe if you've got your own teacup and saucer ready to go, we can do some tea reading. And then towards the end, if you would like to participate, I would love to have a peek in your teacups. So quickly, if you don't have a cup right now, run and get one, as I tell you a little bit about the history. First, if anybody in the audience has had an experience with tea leaf reading in the past, let me know in the chat, because I would love to hear about your experience or the things that you know about tea reading that perhaps I don't. It is a beautiful thing that has been around for actually surprisingly not very long, but there are lots of superstitions or different ways that you can practice. And today I'm going to teach you one method. It's the O'Reilly method. So in our family, we have a particular way that we read tea. And to do that, we only really need three things. The first thing you need is obviously a teacup and some tea. The second thing you need is an open mind. And the third thing you need is an imagination. I'm going to introduce you to my teacups as well, and my mom's book and my master's thesis too. So in the 7 years of creation of teacups, I really wanted to create a vessel that was perfect for tea reading. The art of tea reading stems from geomancy. So Tasseomancy, or the art of reading vessels, can be traced back to ancient Greece, ancient Rome times, when people used kind of the earth or the sky to be able to predict the future. And Tasseomancy has a lot of its roots from this, because it's the art of symbology, but contained in a vessel. So we use a teacup to be able to tell time. But does anybody actually know anything else about tea reading? It's not specifically just tea that you use. You can read coffee, you can read chocolate, you could read milkshake froth, you can even read red wine. My favorite thing to read though is tea, because it is what I am most comfortable with. And funnily enough, RMIT let me do a master's thesis. This delicious book that I've got here, I'm not sure if you can see, is my master's thesis about tea reading and its history and its journey down through India up into Asia, where the gypsies started practicing, and all of the beautiful things that follow through when it comes to tea reading. Then my mum wrote this fun book here, which is more about coffee, but it's got a dictionary of images in the back. So if anybody's curious, we have resources, and there are lots of books around that can assist. Back to tea reading. So you need a cup. Really, you need a shallow, pale-faced vessel that you can enjoy tea out of and see kind of the images in. So anything that is dark on the inside or full of pictures is not ideal. Some light decals are quite good. Sometimes they act as a guide, which is why I've invented this cup, really. So I've got 7 cups in my Tasseomancy series, which have a little picture in the bottom that helps us tell time. This is the sidereal star. Every tea reading that you do can tell time, and there are different ways that you can read tea, in that you could read in circles, or you can read in months, or you can read in zones. But in the O'Reilly method, we read in time. So we use our handle as our marker for now, and we separate it into the 12 months to be able to read 12 months into the future. But we also need to drink some tea. So to get our pictures, let's make some tea. Fair enough? When you are preparing your teacup for tea reading, you need approximately half a teaspoon to 2/3 of a teaspoon of loose leaf tea directly in your vessel, and then you add your hot water on top. So as much hot water as you would like in our family, but it is up to you. In my studies, I found that a lot of places, a lot of methods, didn't necessarily involve loading the teacup. So this is what my great granny called loading the cup. It means we're guaranteed a picture because we've kind of rigged it by adding the tea leaves directly. In some families or in some methodologies, you didn't actually load the cup. It was more a game of chance, and when the tea was prepared in the teapot, if you were lucky to get some leaves, that was about your fortune. But we want to ensure that everybody has a picture, so we load our cups. Is anybody doing this at home? I hope so. Now, whenever I read tea, or in our family, there are really only a few rules when it comes to tea reading. The first rule is that when the liquid is in your cup and you're enjoying your cup of tea, you should only let one person touch one cup. So this kind of stems back to some physics principles, right? If we are massive vibrating particles, nothing is solid. So when you touch an object, you vibrate together, you become one object. And if multiple people touch the same object, then everybody's vibrating that cup. Everybody's influencing the liquid inside. So we only really want one person to touch one cup, so we get the images from just one person. The second rule is enjoy what you're drinking, because otherwise you get a shit reading. So expletives, blooper, bleep that bit out. If you don't like what you're drinking, you can't enjoy the experience. It is very much a joyful thing to enjoy a cup of tea and predict your future. Your subconscious is working overtime. So we don't want to drink something that we have to suffer through. You want to enjoy it. And really, other than that, you just have to have fun. A lot of people ask me what types of tea you can read. And in true fact, I'm not actually drinking tea. I'm drinking a tisane right now. So when it comes to tea reading, you don't need a specific tea. You can drink anything. You can have black tea or green tea or herbal tea, which is not really tea, but anything that leaves a mark and makes you happy. There are some readers that will feel more comfortable drinking specific types of tea or reading specific types of tea. Black tea is a brilliant thing to start with if you're a beginner because it's got very defined lines. Actually, I'll make a cup of black tea as well so I can show you. I have hundreds of different teas in my collection, so it's up to what you want. So I use my malachite cup here. And while my teas are all brewing in their cups, I'm going to show you a trick when it comes to drinking your tea. So loose leaf tea is extremely uncomfortable to drink because you get all these delicious bits in your teeth. Thankfully, this is a camera and I can see myself, so if I get bits, I can get them out. But I've worked out a trick to stop you getting bits in your mouth, and it's called the blow, bite, and suck. So what you do is you blow the leaves away from the edge of your cup. Kind of make a gap. Then you bite down and suck the tea through your teeth. What this does is it acts as a sieve. See? Nothing in my teeth. Perfect. And fortunately, I'm used to drinking hot tea. So it's quite easy to drink. Now, for all of my traditional readers out there that have joined in along, there are quite a few beautiful superstitions about how you should turn your cup. And in the O'Reilly way, we don't actually follow any of those rules. While I was doing my studies, I found that there are beautiful superstitions involved in turning the cup, making sure it's 3 times anti-clockwise, only using a left or a right hand depending on your dominance. But a lot of these beautiful superstitions I found were actually created predominantly by gypsy trade as a way to ensure that their business was safe. So whilst they are beautiful, they aren't actually necessary because most of the imagery when you've drunk the tea is already set. So when a cup is upside down and you're turning it, from a physics point of view, you can't actually change the imagery. You can, however, when you have finished drinking your tea, Leave a little bit of liquid if you want, but it's not vital. And then you can choose to swirl or shake or jiggle or do nothing. It is up to you. Because remember, your subconscious has moved this cup exactly as it is meant to. So, the final step, when you have drunk your tea and enjoyed it, is to set it, tip it upside down. And the best way to do this, I find, is with one hand and a saucer that is flat on the surface, not in the air like this, but when it's flat on the surface, to very gently tip your cup upside down. When the cup is upside down, it is resting. All of the remaining liquid in that cup has come out, and the images become set, which means anyone can pick it up now, and they're not going to move the pictures inside. Can everybody see my little star guide in the bottom there? That is exactly what I need to be able to help me tell time. So, turn that one, and I'll turn my black one as well, just so I can show you the difference. Here's my green cup. A little bit extra liquid in it. So I really wanted to design a vessel for tea reading because there are some absolutely beautiful teacups around, but they didn't always fit exactly as I wanted them when I turned them upside down. So I created my cups, my 7 chakra cups, and every saucer and cup is an element of a chakra. So you can pick a cup based on how you're feeling or the types of questions you might want to ask, but they all have different meanings. Here's my red one. All my cups are setting. This is the root chakra. And then I've got my sacral chakra, which is the orange. They're all nice and bright. I like really bright colors and black and white. Here's my throat chakra, the blue. You can see that there. I haven't actually shared these with anybody else, so I'm kind of using them for the first time tonight, which is very exciting. Here is my yellow one. Ta-da. Solar plexus. Good for positivity. And all my teacups are available on my website for pre-order at the moment. They arrive at the end of spring. Okay, so tea readers. Once you have drunk your tea and you have rested it upside down, I always find pointy stick very handy. So this to me is a special tea wand. This is just a chopstick. You could use a skewer, whatever you've got around that can help you point out pictures. So with your cup, you want to make sure that your liquid is drained, and then we start the reading process. Remember our rules. Open mind and have fun. So when we're looking at pictures, we want to pretend that we're 5 years old and we're looking at clouds. Yes? If a 5-year-old sees an elephant on roller skates, a 5-year-old believes that. Whereas a grown-up goes, elephants don't wear roller skates. That's not possible. So really, we want to go back to that kind of innocence, in a sense, that believes exactly what it sees, because that's our instinct, and that's the thing that gives us the ability to predict the future. That's what tea reading is. It's using tea to see into the future. So we're pretending we're 5 years old and we're looking at clouds, and we're going to use our handle as a guide. Our handle represents now, and like a clock, every hour is a month into the future. Yes, I've got now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 9 months, back to 12. Yes. And then we will look for different pictures. Now you can see in my cup, it's a bit messy. There's nothing super defined, but there's still pictures in here. And the more you look, the more you will see. Sometimes you pick up a cup and you think, whoa, that is quite spectacular as an art piece, because it will be perfectly defined with amazing lines, and it will make you feel something quite profound. And when we see images like that, they are very rare and very special, and you should be photographing them 50 billion times to capture that amazing artwork. But it doesn't mean that a cup like this is not as special. It's just complicated to read. So something that jumps out at me straight away, it's pretty cool, is this bright yellow aeroplane. Can everybody see this yellow aeroplane here? Now, if I'm looking at time, the handle being now, this aeroplane is about 7 months away, which is a very long time away, but it does indicate travel at that 7-month point. So in our family, in the O'Reilly method, we use the handle as now and we count forward exactly 12 months from today. 7 months from today, if now is July, would be February next year, I think, if my math is any good. So that's when I start to see the travel imagery in this cup. And the key thing is you look for any type of image, and what it makes you feel is what it is, so you've just got to say it. So we've got, you know, fun ball-y balloon shapes here, bit of a hashtag going on there. There's a nice little puppy sitting here. Can you see this dog sitting up here in the corner? Its head is too small. It's still a dog. You should never disregard an image. Always go with that instinct. Yes, interesting. So the first part of tea reading really is picking out the pictures. The second part is knowing what those pictures mean. So when it comes to reading the images and telling the story, the way that I was taught was, you know, to think about those images in a definitive sense. There are often lots of texts that have meanings that we can read and learn, but that's not the only way to get an image definition. The other way is to go back to nature. And my great-granny said, whenever you get stuck, always go back to nature. So if you see a little dog sitting in your cup and you don't know what a little dog means, you think about that little dog in nature and its behaviors and the way that it interacts, and you apply those principles for that image in your story in your cup. So what do we know about dogs symbolically? Does anyone know? Can you type it to me? What does the dog mean to you? Anything? No? I can't see any chat functions. Well, to me, a dog is a symbol of loyalty and friendship. And sometimes literally a dog. But I know for a fact I'm definitely not getting a dog. So we're going to go with the loyalty and friendship parts. And here at the 9-month point, there's a highlight on loyalty and friendship in my teacup. There's also an image of a little car tucked in here. Can you see just here, this little car? Like a kid drew it, yeah? And vehicles and cups can be representative of travel, or they can be representative of a vehicle needing some maintenance sometimes. So that's sitting in there. And actually, that's a car that's sitting next to a map of Australia. So we've got the car, we've got this little thing which up closer kind of highlights Western Australia, and within that there's a heart. So this is talking about the vehicle and the highlight on WA, but also the family image and the travel altogether. So perhaps in this 7-month window is when I'll be disappearing off to WA again to see my family. So this tea that I'm reading here, or this tisane I should say, is a rooibos blend which was created by my daughter. It's called Joya's Blend, and in it is some rooibos and roses and hibiscus and calendula and cornflower and beautiful colours and petals, because we like to have lots of things in our tea that make it pretty, because when tea is pretty, it's got lots of depth and you can see even more imagery than you would normally. All right. This is an example here of black tea in a cup. Can you see this? Very different, but still stunning. In my malachite cup. So in this teacup here, let's see if I can read it mirrored or backwards. Can you see this lovely bird sitting down here? Isn't it? It's quite profound. So you can see the difference between a black tea and a herbal, in that the lines and everything are quite a bit more clear here. So we can see a lovely person up here playing some kind of ball sports. You can see this albatross looking bird down here. Tucked in here there's a nice little heart, but it is slightly lopsided. And this tea has drips. Can everybody see these beautiful tears my teacup. Drip, drip, drip. When a cup cries, it tells us that the cup holder is beautifully sensitive and probably needs to drink more tea. Because the more tea you drink, the more pictures will be revealed. So if your cup cries, have another cup of tea. Drink more pictures. Drink until all your pictures have been revealed. Not all in one day, like spread out a little bit, but you know, you get what I mean. Let's see if this chat function is working. Here. All right. So what else do we see in here? You can see tucked in here the number 4. Part of it fell off. Oh, it's more clear if you turn it that way. Nope, it's not. It is when I'm holding it. Where is it? Oh, I'm clicking the wrong tab. Here we go. There we go. There's all the comments. I couldn't see you before. So, I can see a few comments about things not working. If your tea is not working, don't stress, it actually is working. If you've got bits that are not defined or you can't quite see things, that's okay. One of the things that my granny used to say is what this means is that your pictures haven't truly formed yet, or your subconscious hasn't made up its mind as to what it wants just yet. So keep processing your day, keep going along as you will, and as you drink more tea progressively over the coming weeks, you will see more pictures being revealed. Right, now I finally see where the comments are, so I'm going to go back and have a look. I can see some beautiful familiar faces. We've got Freya. Thank you for the cup comment, Freya. That's really nice. And Reese. So Freya, I would love to hear more about your understanding of the handle, because to me the handle in the O'Reilly method is the beginning of time. But I know that when other people read, they can read the handle from the sense of the heart or the central part and then read in zones rather than in time. This is an important note actually, because the practice that I have always used is that of time rather than of purpose. And in reading time, you reveal much about the purpose. Some people choose to read for heart, finance, family, other zones, other kind of periods, or some people read in rings as well, with the bottom being your focus of what is quite far away and towards the outer kind of edge of your cup being what is right now. So rather than giving you a monthly time period, it's giving you a series of rings. In our family, it's one particular way, but that's the beauty of tea reading. It is something that can be practiced in many, many ways. So you've just got to really find the practice that is most comfortable to you. And that's another thing about readers too. When it comes to finding the right reader for you, you will be drawn to the one that gives you exactly what you need. So there is a question here that says, at the moment, I only have full leaf tea. Can I tear open a tea bag? Truth be told, yes, you can open a tea bag if you are completely desperate. There is nothing wrong with doing that. It is about preference. So if you tear open a tea bag, generally speaking, the quality of the tea isn't as ideal. It will be much finer. It might be a bit unpleasant to drink, but you're still going to get pictures. So I personally don't rip open tea bags unless I desperately need the answer to a question. Sometimes I take that as a maybe need to wait a little bit before I have my cup of tea. If your tea leaves are sticking together, that's okay. You can shake them if you want to, if you've still got a bit of liquid, or you can just read them as they are. Big lumps in a cup don't mean nothing. Sometimes they might indicate very strong mountains, or sometimes you'll see three-dimensional images in a cup, things that physically jump out at you. I remember once seeing a beautiful eagle, but you couldn't see it when the cup was face on. You had to turn and it was physically coming out of the cup. So tea is quite spectacular in that sense, especially green tea, because green tea has much larger leaves that kind of unfold and unfurl. Oh, Adeline sees a dancing monkey holding a tambourine. That's an amazing picture. I would love to see that. Is there a video function? Can you share pictures in it? Priscilla, you said here your tea leaves didn't spread too much. What did you do wrong? You didn't do anything wrong. You did exactly what your subconscious was meant to. It might be a bit tricky to read, but the more you read, the more practice you will gain, and therefore the better you will become as a reader. In true fact, anyone is capable of being a tea reader. You don't need 8 generations of blood to be able to read a cup. You need creativity, you need an open mind, you need tea that's delicious and the ability to sit with it and enjoy it, and you need to have fun. And the more you do that, the more you will see, because the more you'll stare at these beautiful imagery and you'll go, oh my God, it does look like a bell, or it does look like a dog chewing on a shoe. And you'll develop more confidence. And that's the key thing to being a successful tea reader. Now, Sonia has said she has a dragon with a wide mouth and a clear eye. That sounds beautiful. Symbolically to me, dragons are about wisdom that we have acquired through difficulty or challenge. Sometimes they are also a symbol of good fortune, depending on the type of dragon, but we need to apply it in context. So when you're looking at your imagery, you want to find your dragon, have a look at the images around it, and tell the story. So does it symbolize wisdom that you are acquiring, or is it surrounded by beautiful celebrations and things like that that indicate the good fortune? You see a bird in my green cup? Can you see that bird? Priscilla can see this one here. It's quite a beautiful bird, actually. This one's sitting down here. Now, when we are reading tea like this, very often the concept of turning your cup upside down and letting it set is indicative for when you're reading for others. You don't actually have to tip it upside down if you're reading just for yourself. So, one other sneaky method I'm going to teach you just for today. It's called kaleidoscope reading. I'm going to use my orange cup now. Now, kaleidoscope reading involves keeping liquid in your cup. Time now, home place. Oh yes, Freya's got some beautiful symbology tucked in there. Thank you, Carl. That's a lovely comment. Okay, so kaleidoscope reading. This is something that people can only practice for themselves. I use kaleidoscope reading like I do a magic 8-ball. All right. So for kaleidoscope reading, you leave liquid in your cup, kind of like 2 or 3 mouthfuls. And what you do is you focus on your question, whatever that question may be. For example, what is my day going to be like tomorrow? Or should I really eat that piece of chocolate, which is sitting right in front of me? Or I've got a really important interview coming up. What are the things I need to know about that? And you can leave this liquid in your cup and give it a swirl, right? As something that is comfortable to you. And then, with the liquid still in your cup, you reveal a picture. So can you see this picture tucked in here? There's my pointy stick. So I've asked my question and I've got my picture, and this picture looks like a beautiful little bird, scratchings at the bottom. It's kind of like an ugly chicken, yeah? So I've got the answer to my question. I can think about it. I can contemplate it. And when I'm satisfied with that, I can switch it away and get the next question and the next answer ready to go. This is my favorite type of meditation because it's something that I can focus on. It is kind of meditative. It is comfortable. in what I'm planning to do, and ultimately it's delicious. So, but a nice bit of liquid in there means that I can ask a question, get the answer, and keep going. Reminder, this only works if you're doing it for yourself. And keep going until you're completely satisfied. I find too, when I'm finished with my kaleidoscope reading, I give it one last swish and then I tip it upside down. Because this one actually has a really nice picture in it I would like to share with you. So in this beautiful carnelian cup that I've got here, can you see here, this is a bird. Got a little beak tucked in here, and it looks like it's flying or carrying a parcel. Yes? You can see the eye of the bird, the little beak, its round belly, its little wing, and whatever it's carrying down here. So to me, birds in cups are very symbolic of good news coming to you. And this one looks like it's carrying me a package. So hopefully, in the next few days, I might get a nice delivery. So let's go over what I've taught you this evening. Firstly, when it comes to Tasseomancy or tea reading, it is an art of reading cups. Doesn't matter what's in them, you can read anything. But the idea is that we use the vessel to predict the future. Then it's about preparing your cup. 1/2 teaspoon to 2/3 of tea or tisane directly in your cup, hot water on top. Enjoy that drink. Drink as much as you possibly can, and then when you are finished, with one hand, gently tip your cup upside down. That's the resting phase. When you've finished the resting phase, maybe 1 to 2 minutes, you lift up your cup to reveal your pictures, and that's when we start to read time around the cup to be able to tell the future. As a rule of thumb, 1 person per cup. Because otherwise you get multiple pictures of multiple people and you don't know who they belong to. When it comes to interpreting your images, we always want to have that really positive flair when we're talking to people. Sometimes you will see difficult pictures in a cup, but remember, it is a joyful and positive experience. So there are ways that we can communicate that are in a positive light. In my lifetime, in 20 years of reading teacups, I have only seen 5 or 6 negative cups, and that is true. In those cups, they have shown me periods of anguish or people going through really difficult circumstance. And always in those cups, we've been able to see the positives as well. Because, remember, this is a teacup. You don't base your life on a teacup. You're just meant to have fun with it. To me, a teacup is a tool of hope. It is a tool of encouragement. It is a tool of joy. And as long as we maintain that kind of sincerity when we are practicing tea reading, we can't make mistakes. You know, we can use them and have fun and go, oh my gosh, isn't that fabulous that that did happen? And if things don't happen, we don't need to stress because, again, it's just for fun. Now there's another question up here. There's a question here. What if you form a negative meaning for your picture? Your interpretations are up to you. If you see negative things, always look for the positive as well. Does that answer your questions? Does anybody have more questions that they would like me to answer? Do you feel like you've learned something about tea leaf reading that you might not have ordinarily known? It doesn't actually matter how old you are when it comes to tea reading. It's something that you can pick up like that. In fact, children are the best readers. Like my 3-year-old, who just turned 3, has been reading for a year, and she's amazing. She could tell you anything in a teacup. If anyone would like to join me backstage too, you're welcome to come along and bring your teacups and I can have a peek in them for you. Is Sue around? I can't see her. Sue, pop in.
Hi. Annie, thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you for this fabulous experience. I hope you've had fun.
Yes, I did. With my bowl.
Oh, what a great bowl. You don't even need a handle. That's true. I forgot to mention that. While the handle plays a very nice part, if you don't have one with a handle, you can always draw one on.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Because cups didn't always have handles, remember? So
anyone want any to read your cup, we can invite you to come to the backstage and then go to the stage, and then Annie will be able to see your cup and read your.
In a few minutes. It would be nice to just connect with some people. Otherwise, feel free to come and follow me along on Instagram or on Facebook. I'm really easy to find. I am Tea with Annie everywhere. Here's my picture in the background here. And for my teacups, I have another handle, which is Annie's Cup. So it's the easiest way to find information about my tea as well.
Any guess?
Not sure.
She said she's gonna.
Maybe I gave him too much information. Looks like we've had too much fun.
Yeah.
But yes, definitely stay connected, everyone, because I would love to see your tea journeys, and you can definitely share images with me in any method. You know, people send me images of teacups on Instagram all the time, and I'm always willing to pop a few words back to you, because for me, tea reading is my life. So it's not something I will ever stop doing.
Do you also want to share about your upcoming Zoom session?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
For the next few weeks, because I am based in Melbourne and Melbourne is in lockdown, and that means that I am not deemed an essential service. So unfortunately, I've had to close my little shop. I have a shop in Carlton North in Melbourne, but to counteract that, I thought I'd try and do something nice and host some free Zoom sessions every so often. So over the next few weeks on Tuesday evenings, I'll be hosting free Zooms where you can pop in and do tea meditations with me just to get us through ISO, because it's not super fun. So if you wanted to come along and have a tea meditation with myself and some other beautiful people via Zoom, so you can sign up to my mailing list or hop on Instagram, and the information for our next session will be up on there.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Annie. And the other people are also saying thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I hope we can do it again.
Yeah. Okay. If no one wants to come up, we will be off.
Oh, good.
3, 2, 1. Oh, good.